Why do so many individuals struggle in life while so few succeed? Let's start by discussing attitude, which experts refer to as the most crucial word in terms of the outcomes we experience in life, whether it be in this language or any other. Our attitude toward life will decide how we are treated by it. Let's be honest, we create the lives we lead, and those lives are shaped by the attitudes we hold. For instance, a person who has a negative attitude about learning is unlikely to learn much unless he does. We typically won't do something if we approach it with the mentality that we can't. We understand then that everything we acquire from life, what we accomplish or fail to accomplish, is related in great part of our general attitude. An attitude of failure, and we're whipped before we even start. The greatest discovery of my generation, according to William James of Harvard University, is that people can change their life by changing their mental attitudes. Isn't it fantastic that we have this level of control? Let's speak about our attitude toward ourselves first, since it is the attitude we have toward ourselves that dictates the attitude we have toward the rest of the world. Here is a somewhat unusual fact. Because we are so comfortable with ourselves, we often underestimate our abilities and our ambitions. And for some equally bizarre reason, we tend to think that others can achieve things in our profession that we cannot. There are literally millions of people out there leading confined, depressing, and dissatisfied lives, acting defensively because they have a defensive, doubtful attitude toward themselves, and as a result, toward life in general. However, change is the one constant in life that we can depend on without fail. People who remain youthful throughout their lives appreciate change and recognize it for what it truly is, a fresh start with new opportunities for success. A person's attitude is a reflection of the consequences of their will. It is incredibly strong and may help us achieve great things, but we must patiently cultivate it day by day. Let's now discuss the mindsets that successful people have. The top 5% of people who effortlessly transition from one achievement to the next, and who, even when they fail, pick themselves up and go on. Wherever you find a person doing an outstanding job and getting outstanding results, you will find a person with the right kind of attitude. This is true of men and women in sales, business executives, people in all professions, wives and mothers, students, top military personnel, public servants, men and women in the service of religion, working men and women in all fields of endeavor. These people approach themselves with the belief that they can achieve their goals and that there is no reason on earth why they cannot be competent and successful. They have a positive outlook on life, themselves, and their goals as a result. They do some great things and get many accolades, including successful, outstanding, clever, lucky, and a host of other terms. They frequently don't exhibit greater brilliance or exceptionality than the majority of those around them. But they did cultivate the right attitude, and they frequently found their successes to be surprisingly simple, simply because it seems that so few people are really trying to believe in themselves. Successful people come in a vast variety of sizes, cognitive levels, backgrounds, and other characteristics. But they all share one trait. They anticipate more success than failure from life. Have the mentality that there are many more if you desire anything worthwhile. There are more reasons why you can have it than why you cannot. Therefore, you should work to earn it. Go for it. Put some effort into it. Ask for it, and you'll almost always succeed. Since our surroundings serve as a reflection of our attitudes, if we don't like them, we must first alter our attitudes. These days, the world is impersonal, doesn't care whether we change, and doesn't play favorites. Adopting a positive, healthy outlook on life has a much greater impact on us than it does on the world and the people who inhabit it. Even trying to estimate how many jobs have been lost, promotions missed, sales missed, and relationships destroyed by lousy attitudes would be impossible, but the figure is in millions. People who wait for the world and others to change toward them instead of being strong and wise enough to at least make a test that will prove beyond a doubt where most or at least a big part of the trouble lies are responsible for the jobs that are held but hated and the marriages that are tolerated but unhappy. Numerous examinations of the lives of thousands of successful people have revealed that they exude assurance and confidence and that they expect and achieve success. These individuals are easy to identify based on the way they act, appear, and walk. They may be small and chubby, tall and slender, or any mix in between, but you can feel the attitude of success when they walk into a room. I want you to understand right now, if you haven't already, that you can excel in the work you're now doing in 5 years or less. I am aware of this, but the crucial query here is, are you aware of this? The simplest and most effective way to develop a good attitude habit is to start acting as though you have a good, optimistic, expectant attitude toward life. The minute you do realize it, you'll have the right attitude I'm talking about. That's correct. Start walking and acting like a member of the gang straight away. If you already belong to the top 5% of people, you understand what I mean. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about investing. Let's return to the video. If you've never tried it, you'll be surprised by the results. Just as feelings cause acts, so do actions cause feelings. Let me now give you a quick experiment you may perform to demonstrate unequivocally that having a positive outlook can have a life-changing impact, comparable to exiting a dark room and entering the bright, clear light of day. The phrase, life is dull only to dull people, is true, but it could also be translated as life is interesting only to interesting people, or life is successful only to successful people. What I'm trying to get at is that you must first mentally adopt the attitude of what you want to accomplish. A reporter was speaking with a well-known restaurateur and asked, "When did you become successful?" He responded that because I was clear about what I wanted to do and that I would follow through on it, I was successful while sleeping on park benches. In other words, he had a success-oriented attitude and had anticipated success long before it had actually materialized in tangible rewards. Remember that a person must behave, look, and feel successful before the success he aspires to can happen. We'll get into this specific phase of leading the field in record number 3, a worthy destination. Most likely, you know someone who seems to be what others would describe as lucky. Amazing things always seem to happen to them, and they appear to be having a great time and accomplishing more in a year than most people do in 5. This has been very scientifically established, and if somebody is willing to diligently carry out the test, I would strongly advise sticking with it for the whole 30 days. You can be sure that the outcomes will be nothing short of wonderful if that guy joins this small, joyful, and incredibly productive group of people. He'll discover himself becoming lucky, and most of his troubles will essentially take care of themselves. Now, anything can be improved upon, and what makes something great are the minor adjustments made to something that is already outstanding. It doesn't matter how good a person's attitude has been in the past. So here's the test. Over the next 30 days, act toward the world, everything you come into contact with, and everyone you meet with the attitude that embodies the results you want to attain. If the result you desire is more success in what you're doing, if you want others to appreciate and admire you, Treat others with respect and admiration. Act as though you already have the success you seek. First of all, have you ever stopped to consider the fact that every person on earth is the most important person on earth in his or her own eyes? You may never be able to convince anyone of this, but it is a fact. As a result, for the next 30 days, treat everyone you come into contact with as the most important person on earth. I advise treating everyone in this way because it is the proper way for people to interact with one another, and because doing so will help you develop a habit that will benefit you greatly for the rest of your life. Have you ever noticed that the individuals appear to get kinder as you rise through the ranks of any reputable firm? You see, it's simpler to communicate with, get along with, and conduct business with someone who is larger than you. Do you know why? It's because he has a positive attitude, and positive attitude individuals naturally rise to the top. Therefore, for 30 days, treat everyone you encounter in the world as you would like them to treat you. Treat your spouse or partner with respect because they are the most important person in your life. Do the same for your kids. Take the attitude you would have if you were the most successful person on earth into the world every morning for 30 days and see how quickly it becomes a habitual way of thinking. When someone does this, they should be aware that they have already started along the path to achieving their goals. They are currently in the top 5% of all citizens in this or any other nation. They have also prepared the soil and planted the seed they have created for themselves. Before metal can be formed into the right shape, he needs a magnet, an embodiment of what he seeks. Before a building can be constructed, the mold or anticipated receptacle must be created. Before a person can live the kind of life he wants, he must first become that kind of person. The excavation must be made, and the foundation must be established. He must behave himself in all of his affairs in a manner consistent with the person he wants to become. Then, he becomes that person in reality, and the traits and behaviors of that person flow effortlessly to him. Immediately, you'll notice a change, and irritations that used to irritate and frustrate you go away. When a person who is less knowledgeable teases you, don't back down. Don't allow yourself to descend to his level and feel sorry for the person when they cut you off with their automobile or behave in any other unkind or ignorant way. That's what they truly deserve. There is nothing in the world that men, women, and children love and need more than the sensation that they are important, that they are needed, and that they are respected. If someone acts like them, then let's face it, he belongs among them. They will show the individual who satisfies this demand their love, affection, respect, and business. The key word is attitude. So let's summarize. One thing to remember is that our initial attitude toward a work will have the biggest impact on how well it turns out. 2. Life's attitude towards us is influenced by how we choose to live. 3. We depend on one another. Without others, success is impossible, and how we treat others will influence how they will treat us. 4. A person must act, think, talk, walk, and conduct himself in all of his affairs as the kind of person they want to become in order to have the kind of life they desire. 5. The better the attitude, the further up in any worthwhile group you go. 6. Since you can only have one idea in your head at once, and there is absolutely nothing to gain from being pessimistic, choose to think positively. The ultimate human want is to be needed, to feel significant, and to be valued. They'll return it to you when you give it to them. 8. Seek for the best in fresh concepts. I've never met a person from whom I couldn't learn something, as someone once stated. 9. Avoid wasting time by airing your own issues. It can't help others, so it probably won't help you. 10. Only discuss your health when it's good. 11. Radiate a positive attitude and the assurance of someone who knows where they're going. This will motivate those around you and you'll discover that good things start happening to you. Lastly, for the next 30 days, treat everyone you come into contact with as though they were the most important person in the world. If you continue doing this for 30 days, you will continue doing it forever. Keep in mind that according to Northwestern University's Walter Dill Scott, mental attitude, not just cerebral abilities, determines whether an endeavor succeeds or fails. Hope you have learned something from this video. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the like button and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for you to be updated on our latest videos. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching! Want to learn more and be more financially literate? Click on the next videos we have in our channel, showing on the screen right now.